I had to nail these shots, and then we could talk pancakes and bacon and other remedies to my hungry belly. I took the last sip of my mocha just as we rounded the corner, and just at that moment, the screen door at 938 Southeast shuttered and swung open. I dropped the empty cup back into its holder and snatched up the nicest thing I owned in the world, a gunmetal gray Nikon DS5500 with a 400mm zoom lens. It was my life's blood in this shitty job of hunting cheaters and deadbeats, a last hurrah from my dwindling trust fund. I caressed it for a moment, eyeing the dull screen door, a perfect match for the 1950s green-gray formstone that hugged the front of the two-story row home. And then, when the door swung wide and I saw him standing there, I pulled the beauty up to my eye and tapped the power button. It chirped, then the viewfinder blinked on, and I zoomed in to catch the morning's last kiss. Digital stills and video with the touch of a button. I was the paparazzi of Charm City cheaters, and I was paying the bills today. Charm City cheaters. Maybe I could finagle that into a reality TV show. Was it better than Swallow Investigations? I needed a new name for my failing business. "What's his deal?" asked B. I didn't look up, but kept on going just as they did, lips still locked, his hand inside her robe right on the stoop like no one would see. We were only a couple houses down across the street in the 2002 pea green and rusty Camry. We blended. It was Canton, after all. They fit right in. "He's Mr. Aaron Canty, away on business according to his wife. They live in Owings Mills near that dead mall. Proper county folk, I see. Wife, 2 kids, a yellow cockapoo. This is his girlfriend's house." What a dick. I shrugged. Yep. He was supposed to arrive in BWI at 10:53 on United 1431 from Charlotte, and it looked like his flight was right on schedule. One last cross-check from the flight attendant. His ride was on time, too. A gray Prius pulled up, fuzzy mustache adorning the front of the electric car, and Mr. Smooth tore himself away from his squeeze. I kept film rolling, the camera vibrating as picture after picture snapped. I zoomed in on his well-groomed face, the light gray sports coat and white shirt with scarlet tie. His beard was neatly trimmed, his red-rimmed eyes focused on the sidewalk in front of him until he dipped into the back seat. I stole a shot of the offending party before B and I ducked down and the Prius whispered by. I dialed up the last few frames. I'd barely had a chance to look. I flicked through the 24 shots the camera had collected before we'd hidden ourselves, and I found myself frowning at what I saw. Typical, totally fuckable, and fucking someone else's man. "We have to follow them," I said, half talking to B, half to myself. The screen door was already closed, the Prius 2 blocks down already. "Well, we know he's going to the airport, right?" said B, turning the engine over. "What's the rush? It's 95 to 295 or nothing, right? Won't be no traffic, girl, and that stupid mustache is impossible to miss." I shrugged, tucked the camera back into my lap, and watched the screen door slip away as B executed what should have been a 3-point turn. A moment later, we were in lukewarm pursuit, and our mobile spy station spilled onto Boston Street, heading south. I groaned as the sun slapped me across the face again, and I pushed my sunglasses back up onto my nose to take the edge off. "There's a Starbucks in Target, you know?" I glared at B when she smirked and failed to slow down even a little, so I might catch a whiff of something caffeinated when we whipped by the shopping center at Canton Crossing. I'd have to wait a bit longer, but before I could even issue a challenging growl she'd only ignore, the pole flashers blinked on, and the red-striped barriers at the railroad crossing trapped us, sending up a wail of misery from B's brakes and dashing my hopes of a few shots of Mr. Wrong being dropped at BWI. "Home, Jeeves," I muttered. "It's time for the Starbucks on Green Street and then back to bed. Shot of espresso and a muffin on me?" B smiled and began her 3-point turn torture once again. She was faster than the train that was coming through, though. Had to give her that. "Oh no, sister. All I get is a muffin? I did drive your tore-up ass all the way out here to Southeast." "I still look hot," I said, adjusting my sunglasses again. "Yeah, from a distance," she said and winked. "Bitch."